Let's do this. Oh,
okay, you fancy. Oh, this is very fitting. Vacation on the beach. Let's do it.
Oh, you can see that? I just wanted to, I'm testing it out as we go. But I want to welcome everybody to BGI Entrepreneur Spotlight. I am your host, Hazel, and this is Nikita, our resident travel agent, and we're talking everything travel today, which is very exciting because it's the number one industry that has been impacted very hard by COVID-19. And I wanted to make sure that our community, was educated on what to do next, where to go. And Nikita is your resident travel agent to contact with all your questions, concerns, and anything travel. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So hi guys, as you guys already heard, I am Nikita and I'm going to be your resident in-house go-to person for vacation planning and booking. I help solo travelers as well as families plan and experience their dream vacations within their budget. I specialize in cruises, all-inclusive vacations, Disney travel, and my favorite destination is definitely the Caribbean. I'm a little biased because I am born and bred in Guyana, and I definitely recommend Caribbean vacations for everybody because there's a little bit of something for everybody on any island that you can go to because we just special like that.
That's right. We are special. So tell us, why did you choose the travel industry? Why did you get into the travel industry?
So as well, one of the primary reasons that I got into the travel industry was after discovering my own love for travel. And when I really tapped into that was a little bit after university. And I got into the working in the 9-to-5 on the go. I was like, I need a break. And travel kind of always got me out of that funk. Mm-hmm. And being part of it, I also remembered my aunt. And at one point, she's passed away now, but she was diagnosed with cancer. And before she kind of told everybody, she was always going on vacations, always in the casino, living her best life. And once I got a taste of that, I'm like, I need to do more of this before anything happens later on. And I need to help other people do this. So even during university, I was always kind of known as the person always going somewhere or doing something. So it just seemed to make sense when all the pieces fell into place for me for travel.
Nice. Amazing. So how do you use your travel business to help your community?
So right now it's been focusing a lot on the education portion and shifting the mindset because unfortunately, a lot of people in our community really see travel as a luxury and a dream that they cannot reach and get to. It doesn't matter what. And I really wanted to shift that. So even sometimes when I'm going on vacation, my mom's like, you going somewhere again? Like, what's going on? Like, yes, this is how I get myself. This is how I take care of myself. This is my version of self-care. This is how I refresh myself so that I can then pour back into my community. Because travel is, I posted on my Instagram today, it's definitely one of those things that you buy that makes you richer. It's definitely an investment, yes. But the experiences that you get, the people that you meet when you are traveling, you cannot put a price on it. So that's one of the things I've been really focusing on is just shifting that mindset that, yes, travel, you can travel, right, and yes, travel can be affordable for you. Outside of that, I'm really just networking within my community, and I always invest in my community because I always believe in the power of the Black dollar. So a lot of things go back. If I have repeat customers, maybe I might buy the Black Girl sunscreen for them and do different things because I've always been a little bit of a giver and adding my own little special touch. So it's definitely something that my clients can expect from me, a little bit of Nikita on their trip.
I like that. I really like that you do that. Now, how are you, pivoting your business through this COVID-19 experience?
Through COVID, I have decided to pivot by expanding my knowledge and trying to build my network with suppliers in the industry. So instead of just focusing on the suppliers that come with my host agencies or that I already have a relationship with, I have been reaching out to other suppliers to see, hey, are there extra trainings that you have in place? What offers or promotions you have in place for travel agents? What kind of incentives are there? Because when I build those rapport and build that network with other suppliers, then it sets my clients up for better success. So they might get a better room when they're booking, or an extra day, or some extra random surprise gift card. And
Right.
So I've been spending a lot of time focusing more on that, so that when things do go back to normal, not only am I ready with all different resources to connect them to, but I have reliable clientele that I can be like, hey, this is my client situation. What can we do for them?
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. So what goals did you have at the beginning of 2020? What were your goals? You know, because 2020, there was a big year. You know,
2020 was my year. I was going to launch officially my business, do my fancy announcement letters and all that kind of stuff. Because beforehand and even up to now, it's just been a lot of word of mouth, and people who have connected with me in different networking sessions, found my Instagram or so forth. So I kind of had to delay that. But my goal was definitely to be anywhere in getting at least 3 bookings every quarter. So ultimately kind of looking at just 1 month down.
Right.
So that is definitely something that has changed for me. And instead of looking so much on the bookings, again, I'm looking at how can I better serve my clients when they are ready to travel. If you are looking to go to Jamaica, again, you are looking to go to the Maldives, what offers do I have available for that is really bringing extra value to you? Right. So yes, you can go on a website and try to find things and book it that way, but you are also denying yourself of some extra perks, because there are no costs associated with using a travel agent, especially an agent like myself that doesn't charge you fees for any consultations that we do. I'm basically working for free, give you all of the information and resources that you need, and just hope that you really have your dream vacation, because that's what I'm about.
Right.
Your experience.
Yes. And that's good to know, because I think a lot of people, especially myself, I didn't know travel agents, like we weren't paying the travel agent, like the company who we book through pays you, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's good to know, because I think a lot of us have, especially in our community. I don't want to use no travel. I can go online and book my ticket
Exactly.
myself, right? But I like what I take, my takeaway from our interview and talking tonight is that I will use a travel agent. One, it's benefiting you, and two, there's all these perks that I wouldn't have had access to. I booked online before and I never got any perks.
Exactly.
Like they sent me, I remember one airline sent me, because I would fly to the US a lot.
Yeah.
They sent me $100 gift thing, but it was like a stipulation. I had to use it between here and here.
Yeah.
Right? Really and truly, am I going to remember to use it? Likelihood not.
That's the setup.
Yeah, it is. And then you can transfer it to somebody else.
Yeah.
So I really like that. I like that I've gotten that. I have in my toolkit what a travel agent does, and really understand. And I'm educated on, the travel agent services that are available, because I really like that.
For sure. Yeah. That's definitely one of the biggest misconceptions that people have. Like, I'm probably going to have to pay you to do what I can do. It's like, it's kind of booking, but we have extra things in the back end that we can see that the website is not going to tell you. And when COVID happened, a lot of people were kind of like smacked in the face with this reality, because they're like, okay, now what happens? Who do I call? And you're calling that 1-800 number and you're not getting anybody. But the people who had travel agents were just like, yeah, my travel agent's going to take care of it. They're going to call me. They're going to process my refund. They're going to give me an update. I just got to relax.
Right. And so that takes away the whole worry.
Exactly.
That whole experience.
Exactly. Let me be on the phone for 3 hours with you. It's not going to take me 3 hours, but let me be on the line interacting with those people. I can get through way faster than you.
Yeah.
We're speaking to different people. So definitely
really good. So because we're on the COVID talk, where were you when you heard the city was shutting down?
I was in North York at work, about to go on my lunch break, I believe. And I just stopped by and I was talking to the receptionist. She's like, hey, this is what's happening. I'm like, no way. Like, I was in so much disbelief, because I'm like, I literally just traveled. I had just gotten back maybe a week or a week and a half ago. And it's funny because at the time, I believe I had kind of like a dry cough just from, I guess, changing the temperatures like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, wait, do I have COVID-19? Like, what is so I'm like, I came from Guyana. There's nothing there. I'm good. So I really didn't think it was as serious as it was, because even right after too, and I had people reach out to me. There were amazing travel deals left, right, and center, because nobody had any idea that this is exactly what it was going to blow up to. I'm like, oh wow, you want to go to the Dominican Republic? You want to go to the Maldives? Now's the time. They've got crazy. You can go for crazy cheap. And then I was like, wait, 2 weeks, another 2 weeks, another 2 weeks. Now 3 months later, we're like, okay,
yeah,
what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I was at work to answer that.
So what are you doing now to transition yourself into this? What is the new normal of the travel industry, or what we know of what it's going to look like? What are you doing now to prepare yourself for that?
Just kind of staying up to date with all of the changes, because there are changes by the day, by the minute, in terms of what's happening with the cruise industry, what's happening with airlines, what's happening with borders, what's happening with public health. So there's a lot of balls that travel agents are juggling right now to kind of sift and find all of the value-up information that people kind of need, and just kind of building that list. So one of the things I did recently was kind of publish a document on my Instagram about where what the different countries are looking like in terms of having their borders open. So kind of having that information in a one-stop shop versus having people go to 40 different websites and not even able to trust the validity of the information on the website is one of the ways that I've been trying to pivot and change and serve my community. Like right now too, one of the big changes temporarily, at least for now, is like when we travel, you're technically not allowed to have hand sanitizer that's more than 3 ounces. But right now you're allowed up to 12 ounces in your handpiece, because they're not going to tell people that you can't carry hand sanitizer, right?
Right.
So just staying up to date with those little things, because that's what can make the difference in somebody's experience when they do go to travel, if they do decide to travel right now. Like, oh, but you mean they're not giving me food? They're not giving me snacks? I don't get water? No, you don't get that.
Right.
You better walk with that.
No.
Before, so.
Well, you have to buy it in the airport, because you still can't bring in outside food, right?
With a lot of the restaurants at the airports are closed as well. So they are recommending that you bring in your own
stuff. Okay.
Because there's not much available in a lot of different airports. Even for us at Pearson, a lot of the stores are closed, and some the few that are open have insane lineups. So if you are planning to travel, you definitely want to count for some extra times in lines, or more time in line than you normally would.
Lines are the new norm.
Listen, I got to mentally prepare for the grocery store. The other day I went to Costco and there was no lineup, and I was like, But then I got in and I was like, what are all these people doing here?
Yes.
I prefer to wait in line outside and then have the numbers kind of thing. But
I know that's my little bit of worry too. They're easing up on the numbers, or they don't seem to be following it too much. But
you
have to get back to some kind of normalcy. So tell me, we talked about cruises on Instagram. And I learned a lot, so I'm trying to bring everything back. But can you tell us about cruises and what are the benefits of doing a cruise? Let's start there.
So I'd say one of the biggest benefits of doing a cruise is that it's super affordable for you to do that and see a lot of different destinations while still having a lot of experiences. Right there, it's a one-stop shop. If you want to see a Broadway show, for example, and you want to go to St. Lucia and Barbados, you're basically getting all of that. And with a cruise as well, you are basically prepaying for all of your expenses. So normally when we do all-inclusive, or you're doing a random vacation, you got to think about, okay, where am I going to stay? So you got to get accommodations, maybe food or drink, depending on the type of, if you're doing it all-inclusive, truly all-inclusive or partial. You got to think about your transportation. You got to think about your excursions potentially. And when you're on a cruise, you basically get all of that in one. You don't have to, you're basically at a hotel for 7 days, 3 days, 5 days, however the length of your cruise is. Be treated like a queen or a king, because you literally get one person that's assigned to your cabin, and they take care of everything for you. All the cleaning, if you want it done as often as you want it done, literally everything. You want to go karting, depending on the cruise line, that might be an option. And then you want to go just sit at the pool. That's definitely an option there for you. You want to watch movies under the sky, potentially an option as well. So anything you kind of want to do, I think a cruise offers. So that's one of the things I definitely, when people are like, hey, what kind of vacation, especially if we're thinking about families,
right.
What kind of thing you might want to look into a cruise, because there's a little bit of something for everybody. Yes, you can find it at the resorts for sure, but you have there's nothing wrong with options, and that's what cruises offer.
Right. So, what would you recommend what type of cruise would you recommend for, well, I have a son and he's like 25.
Yeah.
Right? So if we were going on a cruise, what kind of cruise would you recommend for us?
For you guys, I definitely recommend something like Carnival or Royal Caribbean, because they just have a lot more diversity in terms of the people that are on the ships, as well as the people that work on the ships. So you're definitely going to find a little bit of something for everybody. And there are a lot of different, depending on what you guys are into, those cruise lines most likely will have options available for you, versus something like Norwegian Cruise Line that I've done before. Even my niece and nephew, they're like 10 and 17 now, but we've done a couple when they were even younger. They're like, oh, I prefer Carnival, or I prefer Royal, because they had different things to do, and it wasn't just like so mature and structured. Do. It's like Carnival, you want to do this, you want to do bingo, you want to do a sing-along, you want to do trivia, you want to dance, we've got you.
Okay, so there's more of a variety for
different age groups.
Yeah, for age. Okay, beautiful. So, okay, educate me on the I've never been on a cruise, so educate me on, using the payment system, and like when you get on a cruise, because I know there's a card.
Yeah.
But yeah, and my ideas of what that card, like that, is that an added expense, or like how does that work? How does that card work?
Absolutely not. So when you go on a cruise, that card is your everything. It's your piece of ID that lets everybody know that you belong on the ship. You definitely need to use your card when you are leaving, as well as when you're coming back on the ship at different ports. And that card as well lets you know which areas you may be allowed to. Let's say, for example, so if you were traveling with a younger child, they might not be allowed in certain areas. So people can know from the color of their card and type of card that they have, or what's on their card, what they're allowed to get or not allowed to get. And it's also kind of like your credit card, right? That is how you pay, because on the cruise ships, everything is cashless.
Yeah.
So you basically have a credit card that's assigned to your room. And then you literally, wherever you go on the ship, whatever transactions you're doing, if there's a cost or a service associated with that, you literally just swipe your card. If you have a package, let's say if you have a drinks package, that will be loaded on your card. So when they swipe, they'll be like, hey, this person has a drinks package. They can get unlimited drinks. Versus somebody who doesn't have a drinks package, they swipe and they're like, okay, it's $3 charged to your room.
Right. Oh, okay.
And then once the cruise is done, most people kind of clear their tab on the second to last or the last day. And some people wait until they're ready to disembark and then do it. Definitely don't recommend doing that, because it can be a headache. Because when you're ready to leave, everybody's in that mentality, like, let's go. We had a good time. We're out of here. But you settle that tab at the end of the cruise ship to cover any balances or extra charges that you may have incurred. That's how you can sometimes determine how much gratuity you want to leave for the person that's helping you out in your room.
Right.
It's ultimately your everything. So you definitely guard that card with your life.
Awesome. So we're locked in. We can't go anywhere. We can only stay in our country. What are some of the places you recommend for internal travels for, because we're in Canada. So what internal travels, places we can go and experience, because we can't go anywhere else?
Yeah, I definitely say just exploring any part of BC or anywhere in Alberta. They are very beautiful, picturesque place. Like if you're kind of really big into nature, like I'm not super, super big, but I definitely love being in nature and taking a little bit of the scenery. Exploring those areas will definitely be a thing. If you always wanted to hike and you were kind of a little hesitant on doing that, now is the time to maybe try exploring some of those parks, because they are starting to open and they're not going to be as heavily populated, because a lot of the tourists that would come in to visit those places, let's say Banff, for example,
right,
it's not happening. So if you wanted to experience a little bit of glamping, that's definitely an option that's available to you. You want to check out the hot springs. I know it's warm, but still definitely another option as well. PI, we had a lot of people recommending on Instagram as well. So that's definitely a place. Or sometimes it's just as simple as going to, you're in Toronto, let's go to Kingston, let's go to Ottawa, let's go to Peterborough, let's see what it's like out there. Let's just explore a different area. Right? So kind of just what you're comfortable with. I think maybe, I don't know, there are a lot of different boat cruises that normally happen. I don't know if they're opening those just yet, but I do foresee them kind of doing them and just reducing the number. Just trying that as well in the summer.
Yes.
I've done, do that.
I've done, besides our Soka cruises, but I've also done a couple downtown Toronto where you do a brunch cruise, which is that's really nice.
Yeah.
Because I only thought of doing that like in the Caribbean, never in like my own city.
Exactly.
And that actually it was a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Beautiful experience. Yeah.
And there's the Thousand Islands tour as well. Definitely recommend that. And you get a lot of history. You see a lot of cool so little things like that. Travel doesn't always have to be expensive and this big ta-da, let's go to I don't know, let's go to Taiwan and do this, or let's go to Japan and see the Cherry Blossom Festival. Yeah, those things are amazing, but there are little things here that we can do. I know for me too, like I came and I'm like, oh, when I travel, I'm like, oh, let's see this waterfall. Let's go here. And then I think back, like when I was in Guyana, I never wanted to check out any of those things because I really didn't see the value. And now that I started traveling, I'm like, wait, this is it. This is what people pay hundreds of dollars to see and to do. So
and there's waterfalls here in Hamilton. I haven't done that hike yet. I want to do it, but there's a waterfall in Hamilton that's really beautiful. I follow a couple of people who have done it.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
Yeah. So even if just staying local and exploring your own little areas is definitely something to do to kind of get you comfortable with exploring. So my name is Why Not Wander. And like we kind of mentioned, I just like to wander. I like to go to a place and then discover wherever my feet lead me, wherever the sounds lead me, wherever the food leads me. That's kind of where I'm going to go and try to get the most out of that experience. Yes, I do a little bit. I plan in detail for everybody, but I always like to tell everybody that within your itinerary, you always want to have a little bit of flex room, right? You meet that local and they're going to tell you something like, yo, the best, let's say, if you go to somewhere like the Bahamas and like, yo, the best conch salad is down this street. You got to turn here. Okay, let's go. It's like, if you're traveling with somebody like me, that's what we're about. And that's what I will definitely do. Okay, we're going here. Let's do this and see what's happening. Let's find that. And I've built amazing relationships with some of the most random people.
Yes.
So it's like,
conch salad, Bahamas, that's the place.
Yeah.
I love, like when I went to Bahamas, that's all we ate. Conch salad, conch flitters, everything. Conch. Yeah,
in undergrad, one of my roommates was Bahamian, and when I heard conch, and I'm like, what it is, and sound like, I don't know about that. And then I went and I tried. I'm like, what? This is life.
Yeah,
this is life. Let's do it. Let's get it. So, you just have to always have an open mind when you travel, and you will make the most of any experience. Your flight was delayed 3 hours, 5 hours. When you get there, make the most.
Make it up. Yeah, make it up. So. Do you book Airbnbs and like cottages?
I personally don't. I would recommend, like, I would do it like on the side, like this is what you can do, and guide people how to do that as well. Because I've definitely guided people to kind of get experiences off of Airbnb.
Right.
But it's not, I don't have a partnership with them, so I won't be making any incentive or anything of the sort, but I will definitely help and guide in that way. Okay. If I have clients that supply similar services, I definitely recommend it because there are some like mini homes that are listed as this is what they do. They do accommodate guests, kind of like outside of Airbnb. They have partnerships with suppliers,
Right.
So it'd be more along that line. But yeah,
Oh, nice.
Airbnb is definitely a resource.
Yes. Which is also being hit as well.
Yeah. Everything in travel, left, right, and center.
I know.
Other.
So tell me, what is one thing you want the Big Girl Interrupted community to know about your business?
One thing I would love for you guys to know is that I am in your corner and just here to help you guys out with your travel. I really want you guys to have the best experiences when you do go to travel, regardless of where you're traveling. So feel free to reach out to me if you definitely want to have a travel agent in your corner. I am open and I'm accepting clients. Feel free to check out my website and sign up to my newsletter or anything of the sort. So any travel questions, I just want you to think travel. I want you to think of Nikita, and connect with me. That's ultimately my goal, because I really genuinely want everybody to be able to travel and get those experiences. That's my go-to. That's my thing. Because the more you travel, the more you kind of learn, and the more we learn, the better it is for everybody in the world, right? So stay learning, stay traveling, and you'll be amazing.
Yeah. Can you tell us what are some toolkits, like your travel toolkit? What should we have in our travel toolkit when we're traveling?
When we are traveling, a couple my must-have items for sure. You definitely want to have sunscreen, guys. Like, do not underestimate sunscreen. I have been, even when I was in Ghana, I didn't always put on sometimes, and my skin was a mess. And you do want to protect your skin. So definitely ensuring that you have sunscreen. Additionally, from that, one of the things we spoke about as well on the Instagram live is kind of like having a safety plan. Even if you're going solo, you're going with family, whatever the situation is, always have a safety plan so that should anything go wrong or you need any assistance, there's somebody else that's kind of looking out for you and able to assist you. And especially as Black women that travel solo or travel in groups, definitely want to recommend that you have a safety plan in place.
Right.
Outside of having a travel agent as well, one of the things that you always want to ensure you do before you travel is ensure that your passport is valid. And by saying your passport is valid, I mean it must be must have an expiration date 6 months or more. Because some countries will not allow you to enter if your passport is going to expire in 3 months or 4 months. So that's something that some people have learned the hard way. Definitely ensure that your passport and your travel documents and travel requirements are in place. And if you have a travel agent, they should definitely be letting you know about this. Depending on where you're going as well, you might need to have proper records for immunization. So, example, if you're going to the Maldives, you got to show them that you've got like yellow fever and some other shots in place. So always ensuring that you know the requirements for where it is that you're going. Is how I guess I can summarize that tip. And one of the best ways to do that is by working with a travel agent, because they're going to have the information on the go and have the valid information versus you having to check 40 different sites to see if I want to go to the Maldives, what do I have to do?
Right.
Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to have in place? Right? Because at least the passport requirement can change from place to place. Some places it's 3 months, some places it's 6. So just kind of having the knowledge of the travel requirements. So I think those are my top 3. Because I like to do things in 3s, but
yes.
I am trying to work on a free checklist. So if you guys have any questions that you kind of want me to answer in that, or if you want a more detailed list, like this is what I need when I'm packing, just give me a message and I will definitely curate that for you guys so that you can have it.
Oh, beautiful. Awesome. I love that. Love that.
You're welcome. That's my learning and development head. Hey, there's a need here. Let's create a checklist.
Yes, let's create a checklist.
Cool.
So somebody interested in going into the travel industry like yourself, as an entrepreneur, what advice do you have for them?
So the number one advice I would say for anybody interested in getting into travel is to have a genuine love for travel. Like, this is definitely not the industry and not the type of job that you want to do if you are focused on the money, because a lot of what you do is for free. And you don't get paid until somebody actually takes their vacation. Let's say, for example, because then the supplier is not really getting anything. So if you're doing it for the money, and you're doing it for like the free trips, don't even think about it. You have to be genuinely involved because it's a lot of work that we do in the back end. So have a genuine love for travel and a genuine love for helping other people to travel, and you'll be fine as a travel agent. Because when bookings aren't coming and there's something like COVID, you wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, what is this? I hate this, right? Because that love for it is keeping you alive.
Right. So it's genuinely, and it's really and truly, it's a side hustle on top of whatever you're doing. It's a true side hustle.
Yeah.
Say, okay.
At least for when you're starting out as a newbie, if you don't have that full client list of people that are always going to be traveling, I don't think any of us really know those people like every single time they're ready to go and book. You might have a handful of those people, but that does not mean that every 2 months they're ready for another trip, right? Or for a trip that's going to bring you incentive. Not everything may necessarily have an incentive portion attached, but it's all about that building that communication and that relationship with the supplier. So, that's
okay. Don't worry. When this is all over and we get back to normal, we'll go back to our original conversation about booking a trip for BGI, because that was like one of the things that I talked to you about, right?
Yeah,
is we wanted to do a cruise, like a retreat.
Yeah,
some kind of retreat thing together. So I'm actually looking forward to building that package with you when we're able to create that.
Yeah. So definitely my advice.
Beautiful. Okay. So just before we wrap up, I like to ask you to complete this sentence. Just like I asked you on Instagram, so you know. And the sentence begins this way. I believe
that everyone is worthy of experiencing their dream vacations, and I can help make that happen for you. So get in touch with me. You're all worthy of your dreams and desires. That's one of my mantras, actually. I am worthy of my dreams and desires.
Yes. I love it. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't know how much I've learned tonight within this hour and a little bit that we've had this opportunity to sit down and talk. It's been such a blessing. I know that our community is really going to find what you've taught us as very helpful. And as soon as we can travel, we'll be definitely plugging you in to our newsletter and our email to our email community, and sharing you as much as we can to help your brand, your business build and pick back up. So we're here. And I just want to say, what you need to do, YouTube, subscribe, like, share this, so Nikita can get out there and share with the world of what she's doing and the amazing things and the perks that you get with a travel agent that I didn't know you got, but you can get it with a travel agent. So book with a travel agent, and the travel agent is Nikita that you need to book with. And if you are interested in being spotlight, if you're an entrepreneur and you're interested in being spotlighted on our Big Girl Interrupted Spotlight, which we come on every Monday at 7. YouTube, Facebook, we come on at about 7:40, sometimes 8 o'clock, depending on how the conversation goes on Instagram first. But we are here every Monday talking everything entrepreneur, learning and expanding our learning and our knowledge. And if you're interested in becoming an entrepreneur and you want to know about different industries, this is the place to come and learn, and then pick out your industry, and then reach out and I can connect you with the right people to that you want to find out more about and learn about that industry. So
absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been an amazing pleasure, and I look forward to growing together.
Yeah, I love this. And I love that we were able to do it. I love learning new things. So I love that we were able to do both both Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
Oh wow, we're on both. Amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's great. Amazing. Thank you. And I will be in touch.
Amazing. Thanks, guys.
Yes, and if you want to get a hold of Nikita, just reach out to me. There is also a link in the description at the bottom if you're interested in spotlighting or getting a hold of Nikita as well.
Awesome, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. It will be amazing. You are successful.
Yes, thank you. Have an amazing week.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.